She walked into that office with confidence, her resume strong, her qualifications undeniable. But within minutes, the smiles faded, the questions turned cold, and the decision was already written on their faces. It wasn't about her skills. It wasn't about her experience. It was something she could never change, the color of her skin. What happened next wasn't just rejection. It was a brutal reminder of the quiet racism that hides in plain sight. Could this happen to you, without you even realizing it? For years, Maya had done everything right. Late nights of studying, endless applications, and a degree she had worked tirelessly to earn. She dreamed of landing a job that would finally reward her sacrifices, a career she could be proud of. On the morning of her interview, she woke with nervous excitement, carefully choosing the outfit she thought would make the best impression. As she rehearsed answers in her head, she reminded herself that this was her chance, her moment. But beneath her optimism lingered an unease she couldn't name. Something about the way people sometimes looked at her, the comments whispered when they thought she couldn't hear. She brushed it aside, telling herself, "This time will be different." What she didn't know was that the walls of that office were about to remind her just how far from equal the world still was. The receptionist greeted Maya with a polite smile, but something about it felt strained, like a performance. As she sat in the waiting area, she noticed the subtle glances from behind the desk, the way whispers stopped when she looked up. She told herself it was just nerves, that she was imagining it. But when her name was finally called, the unease grew stronger. Inside the interview room, 3 people sat across from her. Their smiles were tight, their eyes scanning her from head to toe before glancing at one another. The questions started simple: her education, her past work experience. She answered with confidence, her voice steady, her knowledge undeniable. But soon, the tone shifted. Their questions became sharper, their eyes colder. One leaned forward, asking if she thought she could fit in with the culture of the company. Another pressed on whether she had connections that might help her adapt. None of it had anything to do with her skills. Maya felt the air in the room thicken, every word she spoke landing in silence. She noticed the way one interviewer scribbled notes without looking at her, the other checking the clock as if her time was already up. Her chest tightened, but she pushed on, determined to prove she belonged there. The moment that sealed it came without warning. As she spoke about her previous job, one of them leaned back, folded their arms, and gave her a look she had seen too many times before. Dismissive, unspoken, final. It wasn't about her resume. It wasn't about her answers. It was about something she could never change. By the end, the polite smiles had returned, but they carried no warmth. "We'll be in touch," they said, standing quickly, almost eager to end the meeting. Maya walked out with her head held high, but inside, she already knew. She had felt it in the room, sharp as a blade. The decision had been made before she even opened her mouth. Still, she waited. Hours turned into days, and each email notification made her heart race. Then it came, a generic rejection, cold and detached, thanking her for her time. No explanation, no feedback, just a door slammed shut. She sat staring at the screen, numb, the weight of it pressing down on her. It wasn't just rejection. It was the cruel realization that she had never truly been considered, that no matter how hard she worked, her skin color had spoken louder than her qualifications. And as that truth sank in, a question burned in her mind. How many times had this happened before? And how many more times would it happen again? Days after the rejection, Maya received a message that froze her in place. A friend who worked at the same company confided in her, almost whispering through the phone. "They never intended to hire you. The manager said you wouldn't be a good fit because of your background." The words struck like a blade. It wasn't about her degree, her experience, or her dedication. It was about her skin, the one thing she could never change. Her chest tightened, anger and humiliation colliding inside her. She replayed the interview in her mind, the glances, the dismissive smiles, the way their questions shifted away from her skills. It all made sense now, and the realization cut deeper than any rejection letter ever could. The betrayal wasn't just in being denied a job, it was in the confirmation that her worth had been measured not by her talent, but by the color of her skin. She had done everything right, yet still the rules had been rewritten against her. Maya sat alone in her room, tears burning in her eyes, the silence pressing down like a weight. She wanted to scream, to fight back, to demand answers, but instead she sat frozen, suffocated by the cruel truth. In their eyes, she was never good enough, not because she lacked ability, but because she was born different. And in that crushing moment, the world around her seemed to stand still. The interview, the rejection, the whispered confession, it all blurred together into one undeniable reality. She whispered to herself, almost as if asking the world, "If hard work isn't enough, what hope is left for people like me?" In the weeks that followed, Maya tried to move forward. She sent out more applications, practiced for more interviews, and told herself she wouldn't give up. But something inside her had shifted. The rejection wasn't just a setback, it was a scar, a reminder of how fragile opportunity could be when judged through the lens of prejudice. She realized this wasn't just her story. It was the story of countless others who worked twice as hard, only to be told, directly or silently, that they didn't belong. It was a pattern so deeply woven into society that many pretended not to see it. Yet for those living it, the weight was inescapable. Every rejection, every dismissive glance, every door that closed unfairly, each one carried the same unspoken message: your worth is decided before you even step into the room. Maya carried that truth with her, not as a burden, but as fuel. Because silence only allows injustice to continue. By telling her story, she hoped to give voice to the countless others who felt erased, unseen, and unvalued. And so the question lingers, not just for Maya, but for all of us. How many dreams must be stolen before we decide that equality is not a promise, but a reality worth fighting for?